Welcome back, everybody, to another Two Tamers Talk. Jeff,
Yes.
pre-release is done.
You guys have got me here. You're lucky to have me. It is the most busy weekend of my life. I have the NFL draft that I have to obsess over.
Yes.
At least until the first, 3-4 rounds are done. Who cares about, 6, 7, Mr. Irrelevant, whatever. But no, first of all, if you're watching and you are a fan of the NFL or the NFL draft, let us know how your team did, what you think of the picks, et cetera, et cetera. I'm a Seahawks fan, so the fact that we have the 5th pick, the fact we have the 20th pick, again, this is recorded on Wednesday night before the draft. So you guys will get this on Friday. So this is my face Seattle did really good. This is my face Seattle did something questionable. So anyways, let us know what you think. But more important, you guys are here for Digimon related content, right? What did we do? We drafted.
We did 2 pre-releases. We did our full box that we talked about for, I don't know, the past 6 weeks. And also we did a 6-pack tonight.
We did.
And wow,
guys,
the difference between the two of those is so vast.
Yeah.
It is absolutely insane.
So guys, if you let us know in the comments what you guys do, right? Justin and I were having this conversation multiple times today, right? About how 99.9% of you guys probably do the 6-pack.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anyone else that does a full box pre-release.
That is the Bandai suggested. It's
Suggested.
It's not required.
The full box is such a fun way to do it. If you guys can convince your locals to do it, you guys got enough people to do the pre-release that are willing to commit to a full box, totally do it.
Yes.
It is a completely different way to play it. It's almost like, with the 6-pack, you get a little bit of here and here. But a full box, we basically have people build hunters.
Yeah.
And show up and dominate, right, at pre-release. So it's always
my favorite part about it is that, one, when you do 6-pack, everyone gets the same shot, the same odds, right?
Yes.
But at the same time, they don't.
Yeah.
There's a lot more variables for, well, maybe I got 6 rookies and someone else got 20.
We had someone pull 20 rookies.
20
in
rookies.
6-packs.
It's insane.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, I was playing against somebody who pulled 2 eggs total.
Yeah.
Out of
I
6 packs.
I think I pulled 7.
You pulled 7 eggs? Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Whereas the box, everybody ends up with kind of like that similar number of 3s, 5s, whatever, level 2s, etc. So it's always interesting to see how that plays out too.
Well, let's jump into tonight. So we did 6-pack.
Tonight was a 6-pack.
So let's jump into tonight. So let's talk about some of these decks, right? So let's talk about your deck from tonight.
Okay. Yes. So, what don't you like about the 6-pack?
So my biggest thing with the 6-pack is the variables.
You just don't. That's what you don't like. You don't like the fact that you don't have control over it.
Yes. So I want to look at your deck. Okay, I have it. Let's pull it up. I have it down.
Pull it up right here. Can't we talk about this deck? I was actually really happy with this deck that I built today. I think doing the box pre-release had really prepared me for this set. I think had I done the 6-pack first, it wouldn't have been the same. Because I remember with the box, I just anything with hunters and save, I just moved to one side and didn't use. Right?
Yeah.
I was Saturday, I had a real busy week of work, and I was just like, let's not do hunters. Then after seeing hunters and doing a little bit more research, I was like, okay, I'm really digging it.
Yeah,
right?
you changed your decks, and we'll look at your box deck in a little bit.
Yeah. So my 6-pack really, once I pulled the yellow tamer, the black tamer, and the red tamer, right? Taiki, Kira, whatever. I'm usually good with the names. And you. But whatever the yellow is, I pulled that, and I was like, and then I realized I pulled a bunch of the good save.
I just know all the red tamers start with TAK.
Yeah.
Except for Marcus.
I pulled a bunch of save stuff. So I went through and I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's build as close to hunters as I can.
Yeah.
I had a lot of good pieces in general. So starting at the bottom end, I pulled 4 eggs.
Okay.
So spoiler alert, I actually played more eggs in this deck, in my 6-pack deck, than I did the box.
Crazy.
Which is crazy. And I'll explain in here in a second why I did that. 2 Monimons, Gigimon, and a Demi Vmon. All 4 eggs did a lot of work for me today. Normally when I'm building my eggs, I kind of pick the eggs last. And I'm like, okay, what options am I going to run? What color do I need to be, readily available to access, blah, blah, blah. But this time I was like, okay, I'm going to play a lot of save stuff, and I want card draw. I want to be able to draw as many cards. Right, the Demi V actually drew me a lot of cards because I digivolved into green, and I was attacking with the green or hard played the Yakimon blocker, and I was able to draw a card, right? Gigimon didn't come up, but I still am happy with the choice. It was It wasn't that it didn't come up, it's just that I didn't need that necessarily, that 1000 DP always extra like I thought I would. But let's dive into threes. So threes, yeah, no, I just went with, I actually only pulled, I think I took out maybe 1 or 2 level 3s.
Okay.
So I pulled out a pretty good number of level 3s.
Yeah.
But the Agumons being a 1-cost Evo in my 6-pack, I didn't like.
Yeah.
So I went as minimum as I possibly could, playing every other level 3
You
first.
took out rookies in a 6-pack.
So I actually I think I took out 1. One or 2,
yeah.
just because I was trying to fit in room for playing 4 Tamers, and all that stuff. But I was happy with the 3 4K bodies with the Burgermon and the Swimmon. Yeah. And then, I just used the Vmon because it was a 0-cost Evo, but the rest of my 3s were saves. So I really liked having those, right? And the 4s were fun. The 4s were good options. The Tuarmon was able to do Digivolve. That was really nice.
Yeah,
the retaliation of the Dobermon was really cool. The Yakimon blocker, I only pulled 1, right? But the 4s, I think, is where I struggled the most. I originally wasn't going to play a Stingmon and XVmon. I was trying to do like a red hybrid package because I actually ended up pulling a Takato and a Takuya. And I was like, well, I got a Burning Gray and a Goonie. Why don't I try to do a red hybrid package?
Oh, okay.
But then I was like, well, look at my top end. I had I pulled 1 super rare in my 6-pack, and it was the Shine Gray alt, so I guess I can't complain, right? And I'm a big fan of 6-pack. I like to make do with what I got. I like the fact that I have to make the best move with what's in my hand and what I could potentially get. And, you kind of can't really count on, if I get this 1 tamer, I could do this insane combo, whereas with the box or a constructed format, right? So my 2 of my level 6s are free. So I decided to put back in the Vmon and the Stingmon. And
you didn't pull any of the Davis, obviously?
I did pull a Davis.
Oh, you didn't put it in?
I took out the Davis.
Even with all the free?
I did because I specifically picked these 4 Tamers.
Okay.
But I actually got jamming on the Banjo Sting, which made it feel a lot better.
Gotcha.
Because when it's just a 9K swinging, it kind of hurts.
Yeah.
Right? But 5s were really easy for me, I feel like. It was just, I pulled a Omni Shout. That card did so much work in pre-release.
Oh, yeah. It's removal.
Not just in the 6-pack, in the box. It was everything. It was killer.
It's multi-card removal if they're going wide with small bodies.
And the War Growl was good removal, too. So the War Growl was really good removal. And the rest was kind of focused on save and a 1-of Footmon. Because the Footmon, good turbo, good DP. I really liked it. The Cho Hakaimon, however you say her name.
Yeah.
Pig lady. Pig in a blanket. Yeah. Wow. That card was good.
Yeah.
The removal on that, just having the DP reduction, the security attack with the other yellow level 5, the DP, or just the deletion with Omni Shout and War Growl. I had a really good removal in my level 5s. And then, the 6s were really just Shine Gray alt because I pulled it and I actually got it off in my last round. Because you see, I played 2 red tamers and a yellow tamer, right? So I was able to get that off pretty nice. Bancho Sting and the Grand Kawaga just to suspend, gain a memory, delete things. But then I went with the Tamers, right? So this is my first time really using the Hunter Tamers.
Right.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Gaining the memory with the U. I can't believe there has to be an errata on that card. It's like you think
Right
Bandai would have double checked or something, but I mean, at least I was at first I was worried, and that was part of the reason I didn't want to play Hunters when we did the box. I didn't want to have to remember all the erratas. I know there was only 2 this set, so not that big of a deal.
And
but
one of them is on a box top.
Yeah, but I was just like, let's not.
Yeah.
But it was really good this time. The extra memory was nice. Taiki drew me so many cards. I almost decked out like every game.
Yeah.
Because it just drew so much with all the Digivolution. I have tons of inheritables. All my purple, basically, besides Dober, had the inheritable of if you have saved, draw a card.
Yeah.
So, it drew me a bunch of cards. But this was my deck, guys. I did not do nearly as good on the 6-pack as I did on the full box. But I was very happy with how the deck was constructed. I opted just not to do any options. I wasn't a fan of any of the removal in this particular set. Yeah. I didn't think 6K with the Pyro, whatever the red hybrid option was, the not paying 9 to bounce them to the bottom of the deck with the blue was going to be tough because I wasn't going to commit to a lot of blue cards.
Right.
So it was really tough to figure out the whole removal. So I just was like, you know what? All gas, and then I'll have my removal be in the Digimon. So I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, no, and then moving on to the winning deck of tonight.
Let's talk about this winner. Yeah, this deck was awesome.
This thing is crazy. So running 2 of the Home Run Blast.
Yes. So
I did not put this in either of my decks.
I didn't either, and I looked at it, right, but I wasn't crazy about it, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I still happy I avoided that card.
It's like rookie removal.
But
Kinda,
obviously,
yeah.
it worked a lot of good. You know, it ended up being
Yeah.
only a 2 cost, and like I only pulled one of the yellow tamers. That yellow tamer did me so much work.
Yeah.
The -2K, you know, if they would hard play a level 3 just to try to get rookie rush on me,
Yeah.
right? I was able to use that, you know, yellow tamer quite frequently to pop little bodies or, you know, make big suspended bodies weaker so that way I could delete it, right?
Yeah.
I only pulled one. He got 2.
Yeah.
So it's like, of course, you have all this yellow, right? I didn't even get the Kakimon, the pencil.
Yeah.
I didn't get any of that, right? That also would have been a great inheritable for the way my deck ended up being for the night.
Yeah, I didn't get any
Yeah.
Zenimons or any Pillowmons. I got 0 2-cost rookies.
I pulled 1 Zenny, no
Yeah.
pillows.
Yep.
Otherwise, that would have been in there.
Yeah.
For sure. Because I literally played the Agus, and I'd be like, whiff before, you know, because, I mean, obviously I still had to reveal the top
I think
3.
the Agus and the Vmons just whiffed back and forth.
I didn't have to use the Vmon on play because it was a 0-cost Evo, so I saved the Agus for when
Yeah.
I would hard play bodies to be aggressive, you know. But yeah, it was unfortunate. But I was really jealous of his list being able to pull and play that many tamers because, like, you know, I didn't get a Clockmon, you know, and I'm not trying to make excuses, right? I only pulled 1 Arrestor Dramon. I didn't pull any Superior Mon, but being able to build the sweet deck, like it's like a hunter's list.
Oh yeah, no,
It's literally just like
yeah.
a hunter's list,
Yeah.
right? So really like the deck.
Yeah, I mean, and so in the 6-pack, I went 5th.
Mm-hmm.
So I did okay. I went 3-1.
Didn't get a picture of your list though.
I didn't get a picture of my list because, honestly, all right, let's
Yeah.
we can dive into
Let's
it.
dive into
we
this.
can
Let's dive into
we
this.
can fight about this. This is not my favorite format. I am not a big fan of the.
You're not talking about BT12. You're talking about
No,
the
I'm
6-pack.
talking about the 6-pack
pre-release.
format.
Okay.
And we've talked about it before, and I don't know if it's because I'm spoiled because we do the box first, but it feels like this is always just like an afterthought
Yeah.
because I always seem to get the worst pulls. I think I got 7 rookies.
Yeah.
Out of 6-packs, and it's maddening. So I got 7. How many rookies did you get? Like 10?
I ended up getting like 13, almost 14.
And then
I think I
Jacob
took one
got
out.
20.
Got 20. Yeah.
Got 20 rookies. And
I've
it's
had a
just like,
pre-release where I pulled like 8 before.
yeah, it blows your mind,
Yeah.
right? And so it's just, I mean, I got some good SRs. I got Gallantmon. I went 3-1, so I didn't do terrible,
Yeah.
right? Like, so
You're there because you're an internet famous content creator that these fans.
I'm there because I'm dedicated to the shop,
deservingly-
but I'm dedicated to, you know, playing with everyone and stuff.
I
But
think you just got spoiled, man. I think if you
it's-
didn't
it's
have
never
the
my
full
favorite
box,
format,
you
yeah.
know, and having to experience the 6-pack, like most of the people who are probably watching this, or most of the people
Yeah.
who do pre-releases, right, do 6-packs. So
Yeah.
let us know in the comments if you like the idea of a box, if you're interested, you know, what you think of a 6-pack release. I'm a fan of it because I love these type of formats, especially like limiting formats when everybody's like on a similar playing field. You know, and I'm a big fan
I feel
of.
like though that
Yeah.
like people are more on a similar playing field when everyone gets a box. When
I
everyone
gotcha.
gets 6-packs, it is really just
Look,
it's up to
definitely
the
see that.
gods. You know
I
what I
definitely
mean?
see
It's
that.
literally up to whatever deity you pray
to
to.
Yggdrasil.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it is up to Yggdrasil. Like what you get out of your 6-packs, and it is
Yeah.
so
I just
high
like-
roll,
I
which
like-
is usually
yeah.
my style. But
I like the
man,
6-pack because it forces you, like, you're swinging with 5s way more than you would in constructed.
Yeah.
Right. And you're doing all these plays that, you know, you make really cool plays, or you get to take advantage of all these new cards that you would never touch in a constructed or
Oh,
even a
100%,
box
yeah.
pre-release, where it's like you're really just diving in and it's like, okay, this was really cool. I don't know. I'm biased. I just like being able to play.
It was fun. It
with-
was
yeah.
fun. I did enjoy myself. I mean, I did okay. I got 5th.
Beat me.
Yeah, no, I did beat you this
You did.
week. Yeah,
You did
yeah,
beat
yeah.
me this
But,
week.
oh my god! When I opened all those packs and you know, it's like you open the 6-packs and you're like, I hope I get an alt art. I hope I get like a
Yeah.
something. But
Yeah. I think you and I both go to the 6-pack, not try to get good packs to win the event, but just, you know, cards we want for our collection or our decks.
yeah,
You
and the
know.
extra pre-release packs.
And I got the
and
Shine Gray alt, so I'm pretty
yeah,
stoked about
yeah,
that.
you killed it. Some people got some really good cards. tonight,
Again, that was
so-
my only super rare of 6-packs.
yeah. But we literally had twice the amount of participation in the full box,
Of course.
and it cost 4 times as much.
Yeah.
Because you get a full box. When you get the full box, you also
People
get
really
an
like
extra
the pizza
pre-release
we get.
pack. So there's what?
People really like the pizza we get.
Yeah, you get pizza and beer and everything else. Yeah, no, it's a blast. So let's jump into the full box. 'Cause
Yeah.
we covered
Yes, please.
we covered the 6-pack. Let's
Yeah.
jump into the full box. So, I guess we'll just jump into the results. So
Why don't we jump into
I got third.
Third?
So,
kick ass, man.
it's
Okay.
second to lose or whatever the saying is.
I got your list up here and I'm looking at it. I want to hear what your thoughts were when you were
All
constructing.
right, so
this.
we each got a full box. I got to pull my list up because it's been a second.
Yeah.
There it is.
You
okay,
don't remember
so,
what your list was from last week?
Ooh, no, I got it. Okay, so I had a lot of fun with this list because open a full box, and we talked about our pre-release strategies in the last podcast. Talked about what we were gonna do, and I kind of stuck to a lot of that because I was like, I'm gonna play all the 2-cost rookies I get.
Yep.
We had a 3-cost blocker, and then I pulled a whole bunch of turbo cards, but I also pulled 2 Gallant Mons.
Yeah.
So when I pulled the 2 Gallant Mons,
I think that's what ultimately changed your strategy.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
So I pulled the 2 Gallant Mons, and so it's like when you do a build a box tournament or build out of a box tournament, if you pull an SR and an alt art, then you have consistency, right? If you pulled 2 of the same cards.
Yeah, now you almost have a strategy.
Yes. So I'm like, well, I'm going consistency.
And the
so,
Gallant did so much work.
and it's a
man.
40 card deck, so you have to remember that.
Oh,
It's like 20% more consistent, so you can go down 20% on all of your rookies, your level 4s, 5s, whatever. And so the fact that I had 2 SRs that were the same thing, and then of course it's Gallimon, right? So you have a lot of support cards in the deck. I didn't pull any War Growls. I didn't pull a single War Growl in the deck.
I don't think I did either because I definitely would have played them because the removal is awesome.
Insane.
On the when Digivolving.
And the Inheritable is great with the Gallant. So I didn't get that, but I did pull 3 Footmons and 4 of the Joker Mons. So I literally did this strategy where I was going to play all of the support cards I could for the Gallant that I had, and then anything else was just going to be turbo.
No, that makes a lot of sense to me.
So it was just, how do I get there fast, and how do I use the support that's in the deck for the level 6s? And it worked out really well for me. I mean, I got third. My only loss was to this guy over here who played for first.
I did.
So I am going to say that we did get to use the revision pack in this pre-release, so it was great. So I pulled the Anastaco.
Yes.
I did not have the pack that has the Omnimon X in it.
Yeah, I was jealous that you pulled the Anastaco.
Yeah, but I was jealous that you pulled the Omnimon. So yeah, because that deck did a lot.
That did a lot of work.
We'll jump over to your deck.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about this list, guys.
Yeah.
Like this list, I was super excited about when it came together, and it just flowed. It felt insanely good. But you have the list pulled up for everybody?
I do. I have.
Guys, marvel at my genius. No, I'm just kidding. So the first thing, let's talk about it. I'm playing less eggs in this than I did the 6-pack. So,
but in true Jeff fashion.
So what happened was I put together the deck. I ended up playing, I think it was 2 of the Gigimon is what I can't remember if it was Gigimon. It was a 3-2 split, right? But I only pulled 3 of the Koros. And I played my first round, and I really liked how the Koros were in the deck. Yeah. Not because of the Inheritable, but because all my Augurs cost 1 less.
Yeah.
The Evo.
They're free.
So after round 1, I said, you know what? I'm going to try something crazy. I'm going to take out all of my level 2s because round 1, I got lucky. Like, yes, I had a 3-2 split of my eggs. I was able to evolve for free into the Augurs, etc. And I just happened to hatch them at the right time. So it's more than 50% chance for me to get the Koros when I want them. But I kind of noticed something in pre-release in general, and sometimes even when you play Constructed. By the time you get to that 4th, 5th egg, you've already kind of know how the game's going to end.
Yeah.
You kind of know if you're going to win, if you're going to lose,
thing,
right?
Yeah.
Like it's, so at this point I was like, you know what? We're going to 3 eggs. So, but what got me along the path of what ended up happening with this deck, right, is first thing I did is I just opened the packs and I just separate by level. Separate 3, 4, 5, 6 tamer options and level 2s, right? That's the first thing I do. I set it all up, boom, like that. And I was going through and I was like, okay, what's my top end going to be, right? Because that does have some influence. And obviously I played 4 level 6s, which I kind of like 3 in pre-release. 3 feels really good, but 4, the 4 felt really good here. So I might stick with 4 from going on out. But I realized I pulled a Shine Gray and an Emperor Gray, both Greymons. And guys, Burning Greymon is not a Greymon. Bandai, you're obviously big subscribers. I haven't used that joke in a couple weeks, I don't think. Fix that. Burning Gray does not need to be a Greymon, but Emperor Gray is. So Emperor Gray does get to benefit from all these awesome inheritables and effects that benefit Greymons. And like you said, I pulled an Omnimon X out of my revision pack. So the fact that I pulled the Omnimon X, I was like, okay, I got Greymon Search, I got Greymon Omnimon buffs and inheritables with, I pulled 5 of the red-black level 3s.
And you can use all 5 of them.
And I can use all 5 because it's pre-release. It's from the box, you know? And I pulled 3 of the level 4 Greymon that beefs all the inheritables. I pulled 3 of the level 5 Metal Greymons. Yeah, all of those beef the Greymons. Yeah. I remember I swung once with a 15k Emperor Greymon 2 checks.
Yep.
You know, that evolved for 2 because of the ties. So it really felt like the packs and the box really worked in my favor because the pre-release, like literally my second tie was from the pre-release.
Yeah.
Right. So I wouldn't have had 2 ties, and I needed those. The ties did a lot of work. They reduced the play cost.
Besides the Omnimon X, that did a lot of work against my Rookie Rush stuff.
And pulling 2 Marcuses and a Shine Gray, I was able to get that combo off enough, and having enough of the Greymon Tribal to where Marcus could be an aggressive attacker for 1 memory was also really, really helpful. But what I unintentionally did, my plan was, let's go Greymon Tribal. Like I said, I kind of just didn't want to read any of the Hunter stuff. I didn't want to have to learn a new style. I just was like, let's go Greymon Beatdown, because I love Beatdown in pre-release. It's so much fun. Hence the 4-footmon, or Feetmon, I should say maybe at this point, because, just 9k beaters. But anyways, what I unintentionally created was a really fun engine in pre-release with the Metal Greymon Raid.
Yeah.
Right? So I had this awesome ability where sometimes a pre-release you're like, especially even in Constructed, I feel this way, where sometimes I don't want to waste a turn playing a Tamer.
Yeah.
So the fact that I was able to raid, redirect that attack, and now all 4 of those Tamers are fair game for me to play for free.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. So it really set me up with this nice engine. And I really just focused on defensive with the 4 Yakimon. I think I even pulled a 5th Yakimon, and I really wanted to play a 5th one. And I'm not saying I would have won. I got smoked in the finals against the Hunters list, and we'll pull that up here in a sec.
Yeah.
But, I wanted to play 4 Mercurymon because I'm playing 2 Ancient Wise. So my other pre-release card was an Ancient Wise Mon, and I really liked the 13k, because that even came up in security. Someone would swing 12k with another Emperor Greymon, 2 checks, and they died on the first swing to Ancient Wise Mon. It did a lot of work. But I really like the opponent's turn when they attack. Because if you guys have played in a pre-release, you know that sometimes it comes down to just having 1 more body than your opponent has.
Oh, 100%.
Right? Like, you're going through the security. You're just, rookie rushing, you're champion rushing, level 5 rush. I mean, Footmon did so much work. I would just leave him on the field and just swing it once a turn.
Yeah,
9K and he would live, right?
Yeah.
So just having that extra body when my opponent was trying to make a move from the Ancient Wisemon did me so much good. I never got the on deletion play the Mercurymon because the removal that I faced from Ancient Wise was the blue 9 cost. So I didn't delete it.
Yeah.
But I did get the ability off and was able to play an Agumon or a Greymon that's red-black or the Mercurymon.
The Footmon tonight was great for me because we have I think, correct us in the comments, but I think it's our first level 4 with Reboot as an inheritable.
Oh, yeah. I was talking about that too. Yeah, the Ganimon,
I'm pretty sure,
whatever the little Zenny with the mustache level 4 is.
Yeah. So being able to swing with 9k, level 5, and then Reboot?
Insane.
Great.
Yeah.
Especially because it was kind of a counter because a lot of people played the Dobermon. With retail level 4.
Yeah, so that's exactly what they would do. They use that as removal and try to kill your Footmon, right? Even though what I love about the Footmon is you would actually spend, especially your deck, where you turboed, you spent so little resources to get there.
Yeah.
And you just have this menacing 9k.
Yeah, because you had a 1-cost level 4. So you have a 1-cost level 4 Evo, and you have 2 between the Jokermon and the Footmon. You have 2 level 5 turbos. And so I think that's why my deck did pretty well, because I was able to get into one of those 2 Gallantmons pretty quick.
Super quickly as soon as you
And that Gallantmon just eats rookies for breakfast, right? And if they don't do it, then it punishes you by trashing security.
Yeah. Had these Greymons not had their reduction, I would have had that problem that you just mentioned, where it wouldn't have been turbo. It would have been so slow to pay 1 Evo into a level 3, 3 into a level 4, 4 into a 5.
Yeah.
But I was able to cheat that by 1 or 2 with the Tamer or the actual alternative evolution cost, right? So I was pretty excited about that. But
so I mean, out of 23, we went second and third. So air high five on that one. So let's talk about the winner, the guy that
beat
dominated
me
you in the finals.
Totally just kicked my butt too, which was a well-deserved win.
What a hunter's deck this is.
Yeah, I mean, literally looking at this deck, it's hunters. Like, it's basically a hunter's deck list.
Oh, 100%.
You know, that somebody, like, was maybe missing a couple pieces.
Well, and he pulled an alt-art
quartz. He pulled 2 quartzes.
He got quartz.
2 quartzes. Yeah. I mean, that's what lost me, right? Was how dominant quartz was against me. Like, you would just be able to get it out, ready to go, and he was grooving.
Well, look at his tamers.
I didn't pull a single level 4 Arrestor Dramon.
Yeah.
Right? I went through after this, and I was like, wow, I didn't pull any of those. But he definitely taught me and helped me today in my 6-pack how good Omni Shout is. Not just in pre-release, but in this deck in general, right? Yeah. So, I mean, this deck was crazy. I mean, like, look at it. 2 of his pre-release cards were the Tamers, right? Yeah. So, like, his pre-release packs literally destined him to play Hunters.
Well, and he also pulled 3 of the egg. Like, and 3 Gumdramons, and and 2 Arrestor Dramon, like, and 4 of the Omni Shots.
I didn't pull a single Gumdramon tonight.
No.
In the 6-pack.
Neither. No, and 2 quartz. Like, this deck was destined to just dominate. I mean, it is all the pieces you need. This is almost like a list that you see on, like,
no, this literally looks like a hunter's list. You know, obviously, for those counting at home, this is a 40-card list with the eggs, right?
Yeah.
Or without the eggs, excuse me. But it's super close to just being a hunter's list that would top an event.
And he pulled more than 4 eggs, but those 4 eggs are really good because the
same idea. Yeah.
The black egg lets you draw a card when you play something with save.
It just makes so much sense.
Perfect.
Like in a box event, especially like not needing more than 3 eggs in a game. You know?
Yeah.
A lot of times, especially in construction nowadays, you don't need more than 3. So I get it.
Oh, well, that was pre-release, folks.
Let us know how your pre-release went.
Man.
Let us know if you saw some really cool combos, if you have new appreciations. Like, I know that's what I love about pre-release.
Oh, me too.
Where all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I appreciate this card so much more, or I'm excited to try this in other decks, or whatever. Definitely let us know how it went. You know, some cool little revelations you had, but looking forward to seeing those in the comments.
Yeah, I mean, what a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just going from all the unboxings. I mean, we opened a case. We did.
If you haven't checked out that video,
yes,
jump on
check
it.
out.
We opened a case.
We pulled lackluster Omnimon Ghost Rare that we did not realize was going to be that rare.
You seemed so disappointed. This has been killing you all week, man.
Oh my God, it's been killing me. I mean,
like, how would you have known? Because the last set we had the Geen Imperial. Right? How would you have possibly known that this Omnimon, right, was going to be way rarer than that? Because they promised us Geen Imperial was going to be rare.
When we pulled it, I was like, I mean, we were excited about it, right? So
yeah, but we didn't think it was going to be more than a $40 card.
No, because we opened the case last time.
Yeah.
Right? And we pulled, what, like 3 or 4 of those Imperial? 3 or 4 of the Geens. And those were supposed to be, because it was the same rarity on the back of the pack. You know, they do like the question mark card.
The top secret.
And you're like, okay, cool. Well, this came out in Japan like 6 months ago, so we know what the question mark card is, right? So we pulled the Omnimon, and we're like, oh, cool.
You pulled the Omnimon.
Okay, yes, I pulled the Omnimon. But at the same time, I pulled it, and I was like, okay, well, there's probably going to be 2 or 3 in this case.
You and I each were expecting to get 1 or 2 more.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, it's a really good art. Yeah. And then we pulled 1 for our case, and then we go to pre-release, and then we open 3 cases for pre-release.
Yeah, because 23 boxes.
People bought extra boxes at pre-release, and nobody pulled one.
I don't think we've seen one pulled yet at the shop.
No. And so... But between the case we got in the mail and then all the other cases that we opened at the shop, we haven't seen any other than the one that we opened. And so, like, all of the... And I paying attention to how everything is going online and stuff like that, because it didn't hit TCG for a while.
Nope.
And so, after, I think, 4 or 5 days, you start seeing, like, all these messages pop up on, like, Facebook groups, like, hey, I pulled this. What is this?
And what is it worth?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden someone's like, oh, yeah, I sold that for $400.
Jeez. Let this be a lesson in economics, guys. Something is only worth what somebody is willing to pay. So if you guys are asking what a card is worth, a better answer is what is somebody willing to pay? Because somebody paying $400 for that Blitz Omni makes it seem like it might be worth that much. But grand scheme of things, it might not be worth that. We don't know. We don't know how many of these are going to end up with in general. So if you did pull one of those Omnis, congratulations. If you're trying to sell it and to buy more cards, do it now while the prices are good. Otherwise, hold on to it and treasure it and sleep with it under your pillow.
Yeah, I pulled it and I was okay, but then I put it next to the BT6.
Oh
No,
yeah,
BT5.
that's right.
Yeah. I put it next to the Blitz Omni Altart, and I was or not Blitz Omni, the Omnimon X Antibody.
BT5.
Yeah, BT5. Yeah, and I was like, oh, these look really cool together. I was
They
actually
do.
really excited to Digivolve one on top of the other. But man, it's been a weird set.
Yeah, it really
So
has.
we also haven't seen any gold or silver Bagra or Cross 7 superiors.
No, we have not. And
So-
I definitely want to see what they look like in person.
Yeah.
Because both of those altards look great without the gold and silver,
Yes.
right? Where I don't know if I would need them that badly.
Well, I don't think you need either of those cards.
No, I mean, you don't need any cards, guys. Come on, let's be honest.
Spoiler alert, they're both, I don't want to say bad, but Cross 7 is definitely borderline better. There are some lists that run it, like as a one or a two of, and like the non-Mervamon slower version of Cross, right? But
those are more for the diehard fans that just really grew up watching Digimon Fusion or Digimon Cross Wars.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys watched in Sub, because Sub was better, was pretty good in my opinion. But because I saw that card and I was like, I want to build this deck just because of the attachment I have. I don't want to build it because it's good. Merva's better.
Yeah, I think Merva is undeniably faster, more consistent, and it's just more of a machine gun deck, as they like to say at our locals,
Yeah.
But man, we've had a lot of pre-release stuff going on. We've had a lot of experience with these new cards. We definitely have to dive into our cards of the week.
Yes, definitely.
So these are going to be weird because these are not what's the card that's made your constructed deck so efficient or so much better in this
card
format.
that inspired you or whatever, Yeah.
So over the past week, I guess I'll go first.
Yeah.
Because I got third, you got second in the box. And I'm just going to throw it out there. Zenimon.
2-cost rookies all day. Let's
go.
go.
I called it in our pre-release talk.
I played 4 in mine.
Pre-release, yeah. I played every Zenimon I had. It's got save in its traits. It does in its text, so you can if you have the Zenimon coin underneath another Digimon, you get to draw a card when you play it.
Did you do the ka-ching when you swung into security?
I forgot to do the ka-ching.
I did the sound effects?
Yeah.
Okay.
But definitely the Zenimon. Pillamon's good too. Not gonna lie, the Pillamon was great, but it has that one cost Digivolve.
Yeah, so it slowed you down a hair. You were a little bit more hesitant.
That's what edged the Zenimon out for me.
Yeah.
In this fight was, it's just ultimate pre-release. You're gonna play a Metal Greymon for 7 because you want to go crazy with raid. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna play 3 Zenimons or 2 Zenimons and a Pillowmon.
Do something about it.
Yeah, do something about it. You can raid into one next turn if they're all still alive. But it was fun. I think that I kind of already knew that was going to be mine. If you're talking about the box pre-release, we didn't really script any of this, but I really like the Lampmon for the box.
Yeah.
The Lampmon is kind of like a worse Venusmon.
Yeah.
But also strong because it has a level 5 underneath it that gives the security attack when it's
Again, why I'm so positive about these pre-release events, because you get a chance to use cards you're never going to use again.
Yeah.
Like, I know you were talking to me about trying to use Lampmon again, right? And if you never do, that's cool, right? But you were able to just hype in on this card.
Yeah.
Because of this awesome format.
Yeah. What's your card of the week?
That is okay. So for me, it's like a 4 or 5 way tie between all the level 5s of this set. but I'll pick one. I promise, guys.
Pick one.
So no, for me, when I play pre-release, it's always like I have 3 level 6s. Usually my 6s are removal or just overbearing power, where it's not like the focus of what I'm going to do every match that I play.
Right.
Whereas like the level 5s are going to do a lot of damage. Level 5s generally have really good removal, especially nowadays. Or they're just high DP, especially like the Footmon 9K. So I'm going to change it. I know I told you what it was before we started filming, but I'm changing it. It's Omni Shoutmon.
Oh, okay.
Omni Shoutmon.
Yeah.
So I was a big fan of the Shoutmon deck back in BT5.
Yes.
And this is like the best Shoutmon card we've ever gotten.
It's so good.
It's crazy how good, and even with all the cross stuff, like you could probably argue that the Rush Shoutmon level 3, or excuse me, the one with the inheritable Rush is probably the best Shoutmon card printed for sure. Or cross 4, the fact that they had to restrict it.
Right.
Right. But this Omni Shout is just so powerful.
It's really good.
The removal is insane. It can pop a 7K when you just Digivolve for normal.
Yeah.
It's like, are you serious? And it can pop multiple bodies.
Up to 7.
Right,
yeah,
right.
You
so
add 'em up,
so you add them up. So, and even if you just have, level 4 on board, right? So I really liked in pre-release how my opponent was able to use that against me in the finals in the box tournament. And I really liked how much I was able to use my one of Omni Shoutmon in my 6-pack today. And it makes me very excited for the Hunters deck and to build future Omni Shoutmon stuff in, like upcoming stuff.
Yeah, sky's the limit.
It's got a good inheritable. It's just a super powerful card, man.
Yeah.
Card's insane.
All right. Well, Jeff.
Yes.
On the spot.
On the spot.
What are you building this for, Matt?
Okay. You really are putting me on the spot. Let's see. So I've been really motivated, especially today after the 6-pack, to build Hunters. And I was never against Hunters. I know I keep joking where I like put all the Hunter stuff aside during the box set, but at that time on that Saturday, I was not in the mental space to learn how to play Hunters. Now I'm really digging it, especially a nice little like intro, getting my feet wet with just like one of each of the tamers that I had today during the 6-pack.
Okay,
so I'm really excited to build Hunters. I'm very, very much looking forward to it. The Arrestor Dramon Superior mode I know has been a popular favorite at our locals, and I'm gonna jump on that hype train too.
Okay.
There's so many ways to build the Arrestor Dramon where you don't have to necessarily focus on a Hunter's build, because it is a purple dragon that can be used in all sorts of ways. But the Greymon raid as well.
Yes.
Those
I
are the
cannot
decks.
wait to see your War Great list.
I had so much fun during my box with just having raid. I really like raid as a mechanic. It's such a strong mechanic that I think the game needed, and so I'm very much looking forward to building that as well. But those are the decks I'm going to focus on for sure first. I'm going to update some old stuff as well, but I really think this set is about new stuff. I don't think there are some updates to some stuff that you can make, right?
Yeah.
But I really think most of the set is new stuff.
Well, that's why we got our yin and our yang. That's why we work so well together, because I am updating old stuff.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like obviously, Old Force, right? Got it.
Yeah,
awesome
so that's
going to
be my baby for this is Old Force. We have a deck profile coming out for you guys very soon, so stay tuned for that. We actually shot an Old Force deck.
We did.
Then
I'm glad you're bringing this up because I wanted to talk about this.
Yeah,
okay.
And then we played our first pre-release, and I'm like, yeah, this version just won't work.
And why won't it work, Jesse?
Because of Quartzmon.
Okay,
yes.
So I've never been one to call for a ban or a restriction or anything like that. I'm not saying that's what I'm doing here today, folks.
I don't think it's
right.
banned.
But I'm curious, what's going to happen to the meta? Is it going to be? Because you're going to end up in this like lockdown of you have your Quartzmon out and your opponent has their Quartzmon out too.
I think it's going to be great for the meta because it introduces removal back into the meta where people stop playing Gaia Force.
Yeah.
They stop playing Megadeath. They stop playing Gigadeath. They stop playing all of these options because the Digimon were so strong with their own removal. But now you can't do a lot of the when this Digimon's suspended or when it unsuspends or when you when attacking because everything is frozen, right?
I think the reason the removal went away was because you had the X antibody decks that had so much protection.
Yes.
You know, like you can't you're gonna have to use 2 Gaia Forces to get rid of a Black War Gray, and then they could, if not more.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly,
right.
Yeah.
So now Quartzmon can get blown up to 1
Yes.
which makes it fair and balanced. Again, I'm not calling for restriction.
It's a fair and balanced card because it is liable for every form of removal.
It does
in the game.
feel like the meta is going to become this like mirror of I'm suspending all your board and you're suspending all of my board.
Yeah, but if you have 2 out, nothing on suspends.
True.
That's how the ruling works.
Yeah. So that's insane. Like what's going to happen at that point in the game is going to be crazy. So it's going to be interesting. And the U.S. always does things different than overseas.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm not saying we're better or anything like that. I think it's just because we see what they do and we kind of jump on their shoulders and and kind of take things to that next level because we have a little bit more time in the format because they've already spent the early stages discovering it all. So having the quartz mirror is going to be a crazy thing to witness. I think there's going to be a lot of fun ways like Death X could make a comeback with all the Tamers and Hunters. Right, because you can play that body, and yes, quartz will suspend it the next turn, but it doesn't mean like it, or if you do get rid of the quartz or whatever, right? So it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens with the quartz. But that's why I had to reshoot Old Force because we got gung ho, and you were so excited about building Old Force. You're like, this is exactly what I'm gonna put in. This is what I'm gonna take out. Blah blah blah, and then we saw how crazy quartz is.
Yes, and. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm not gonna put out a deck that just folds to 1 card. Like they could, like with the old Force deck, they could hard play it for 15.
Yeah,
and then you just lose because your Old Force doesn't unsuspend.
We are kind of at that point in the game though, where it's no longer you can tech for everything. You're always gonna have a bad matchup. You know what I'm saying?
Like, no, 100%.
Like when I was playing your Machine Dramon against Old Force, I was like, yeah, this is a bad matchup because
it's a terrible matchup.
Because it bounces, right? And there's like, I'm not going to retool your entire deck, the entire deck, whatever, for 1 matchup.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to suck it up and just realize that there is always 1 bad matchup you're going to have.
There's bad matchups.
And that's every card game, right?
Yeah. So we do have. So I am playing Old Force. I think I found
okay.
Answer for quartz.
I think you did too. Can't wait to share.
I've done some good testing, and we're gonna do some more. But I think I have a good answer for quartz in Old Force. Also, Machine Dramon. Obviously, I got a new top end with the Chaos Dramon, so we're good there. I got that going, and then I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but when we're talking Quartzmon. The Diaboromon list with the Mamamon from BT12. Oh, I think it's. I don't want to say it's competitive, like that's gonna win everything, but I got a spicy list, and I know that that's a controversial.
I like
because
list.
Every time we post Diaboromon lists, like the comments go nuts.
It's crazy how passionate Diaboromon fans are about their build. Yeah. Like, I don't think, like on all of my lists that I have posted, and I've never had a bunch of people just nitpick me as much as when you post a Diaboro.
Yeah,
which,
I think yours
we love.
Is like
keep
borderline, like Leomon, people kind of jump on a little bit.
A little bit,
I think Diaboro. Diaboro is a fan base.
You picked the wrong Kurosari.
Ooh, yeah. And if you
get that on a t-shirt? Put that on your mat, you like it or something, whatever the quote. Sorry, we're not trying to make fun of anybody or single anybody out.
Yeah. Man. But I have a fun Diaboromon list. And then playing in pre-release tonight, I had a lot of fun with Lampmon. We already talked about it. But I'm going to try and put together a yellow list that features Lampmon, Venusmon, and the level 5 that adds security tech -1. And then tech in some like Tinkermons and stuff that messes with security attack.
We could do a challenge on this. I've been working on a yellow list that focuses on Venusmon too.
Okay.
You want to do a challenge series or something like that? That'd be kind of fun.
Okay, I'm going to order all my Venusmon alts so they're more expensive for you.
Oh, jeez. I don't want to order Venus alts.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again for watching, and thanks for everyone that came out to pre-release.
Yes, of course.
We did an all-call on the last 4 or 5 podcasts, and we had great turnout. And it's been a crazy week. We're all filling our binders with all these alt arts, and we're trying to get everything collected, and it's been nuts. So thanks again for joining us on this journey, and stay tuned to the channel. We have tons of deck profiles coming.
Oh yeah,
I know. I have 3 or 4. You got 3 or 4. We have Jake and Tim and more people. Like we have Imperial.
All these
coming.
people that you've been starting to see their faces on, we're getting them more and more.
Yes.
Yeah. So keep looking forward to that. Hopefully, you guys develop a favorite personality. Hopefully, you guys get excited when a certain member jumps on and does a deck profile video. You're like, oh, I'm tired of hearing Jeff's voice, anyways. So we're all excited about that.
All right, guys. Well, stay tuned. We have a lot of good videos coming for you guys. We have a new setup in here, so we'll be able to do some deck battles and a lot of good fun stuff. So we'll see you next time. Thanks again. We'll see you.